Welcome to Mind Drive, your go-to channel for mental health and psychology insights. Today we're diving into 7 hidden signs you're emotionally exhausted and how to recover. All right, let's talk about the first sign of emotional exhaustion: chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue related to emotional exhaustion is like having your battery stuck at 20%. You wake up feeling like you haven't slept, you drag yourself through the day, and even simple tasks feel overwhelming. This isn't just about being a little sleepy, it's a deep-rooted exhaustion that seeps into every aspect of your life. Life is demanding, but that's exactly why we need to pay attention to this sign. When you're emotionally exhausted, your body is running on fumes, and you're more susceptible to burnout. Ignoring this sign is like ignoring a flashing check engine light in your car. So if you're constantly feeling wiped out even after a good night's sleep, don't brush it off. It's time to take a step back and ask yourself, what's really going on here? Let's move on to the second sign of emotional exhaustion: lack of motivation. When you're emotionally exhausted, it's not just your energy levels that take a hit, it's your drive, your passion, your zest for life. Things you used to enjoy, things that used to light you up, suddenly feel like chores. That hobby you were passionate about, collecting dust, that project you were excited to start, stuck on hold. And it's not because you're lazy or uninterested, it's because emotional exhaustion has zapped your motivation. If you find that you're consistently lacking motivation, that you're just going through the motions day after day, it's time to take notice. This could be a sign that you're running on empty emotionally. If this lack of motivation becomes a persistent pattern in your life, it's time to dig deeper and address the underlying emotional exhaustion. Let's talk about the third sign of emotional exhaustion: irritability. When you're emotionally exhausted, that fuse gets shorter and shorter. Little things that wouldn't normally bother you suddenly set you off. Traffic jams become unbearable, long lines feel like personal attacks, and even the sound of someone chewing their food can send you over the edge. It's your brain and body's way of saying, hey, we're overloaded here, we need a break. When you're emotionally exhausted, your stress response is on high alert, and you're more likely to perceive things as threats even if they're not. This irritability can strain your relationships and create unnecessary conflict in your life. Recognizing this sign can help you take steps to manage your stress and emotional well-being. All right, let's dive into the fourth sign of emotional exhaustion: difficulty concentrating. When you're emotionally exhausted, it's like your brain is stuck in a fog. You struggle to focus, your mind wanders, and even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Our brains are incredible organs, but they're not designed for constant overdrive. When we're under chronic stress and emotional exhaustion sets in, our brains go into a sort of survival mode. They prioritize immediate needs and shut down non-essential functions like focus and concentration. You might find yourself rereading the same page over and over again, struggling to follow conversations, or just feeling generally scattered and forgetful. This can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you're used to being sharp and on top of things. We're moving on to the fifth sign of emotional exhaustion, and this one's a big one, folks: physical symptoms. When we're constantly stressed and emotionally drained, our bodies go into a state of chronic fight or flight, and this can wreak havoc on our physical health. Our minds and bodies are intricately connected. When we experience prolonged emotional stress, our bodies react with a cascade of physiological changes. Our heart rate and blood pressure increase, our muscles tense up, and our digestion gets thrown out of whack. Some people experience frequent headaches or migraines, while others struggle with digestive issues like stomach aches, diarrhea, or constipation. Muscle tension, particularly in the neck, shoulders, and back, is also common, as is insomnia or difficulty sleeping. These physical symptoms of emotional exhaustion are like flashing red lights on your dashboard, telling you that something's not right and that you need to pay attention. Let's talk about the sixth sign of emotional exhaustion: social withdrawal. When you're emotionally exhausted, it takes a lot of energy to engage with other people, to put on a brave face, to pretend like everything's okay when it's not. So you start to withdraw. You decline invitations, you cancel plans, you avoid social gatherings. This social withdrawal isn't about being antisocial or not liking people. It's a self-protection mechanism. When you're emotionally drained, you simply don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with the demands of social interaction. The more you isolate yourself, the more lonely and disconnected you feel, and the more emotionally drained you become. When you're emotionally exhausted, this feeling of overwhelm becomes a constant companion. It's like you're drowning in a sea of responsibilities and you can't seem to keep your head above water. When you're emotionally exhausted, your ability to cope with stress is compromised. The smallest tasks feel insurmountable and you're constantly bombarded with thoughts like, I can't do this, it's too much, or I'm going to fail. This feeling of overwhelm is a sign that you're carrying too much. It's a sign that you need to lighten your load, to prioritize your well-being, and to ask for help when you need it. Remember, recognizing the signs of emotional exhaustion is the first step towards reclaiming your well-being. How do you recover? Take regular breaks, seek support from friends or a therapist, practice mindfulness, and set healthy boundaries. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to Mind Drive for more insights on mental health and psychology. Check out online-therapy.com, offering a comprehensive online therapy experience designed to guide you towards a happier and healthier you. Click the link in the description below for 20% off with the code word therapy20.